We've got to talk more about this, so I want to bring in Carrie, Sheffield, and Hyma to discuss this race in depth. Carrie is the director of the Center of AI and Technology for the conservative nonprofit Independent Women. Hyma is a principal for Cornerstone Public Affairs and the former director for the office of the DNC chair. Both of you, thanks for joining us. Carrie, I've got to start with you because Ken Paxton didn't just win last night, it was a blowout. So does this show that for Republicans, the issue that matters the most is the president's endorsement?
Well, what matters most is turnout. That's really what it comes down to, get out the vote. And President Trump is an exceedingly strong motivator for Texas Republicans. In 2024, President Trump, he won by the largest margin in 2 decades in 2024 in the state of Texas. And so when you're talking about a midterm when overall momentum is flagging, turnout is flagging, it's going to be very important for turnout to be strong for Ken Paxton against Tallarico. And so I think this was a very smart strategic move by President Trump.
Now, Hyma, a lot of Democrats have been saying that they wanted Paxton to win. Is this the outcome they wanted?
I see this as an advantageous race right now, and I think Ken Paxton, being the nominee for the Republicans, has given the Democrats a new level of motivation. If you see last night, James Tallarico immediately went to unite independents and Democrats and invited them into his party. And so I think they see him as a clear opposition to Texas values, particularly around religion and things like that. And so I do think Democrats are super excited about this race.
Now, Carrie, this should be a safe Republican seat, but we've been talking all morning about the tens of millions of dollars the GOP is putting into this race. They're likely going to have to ramp up spending even more. Is this a worry for them?
You know, I'm old enough to remember how often this keeps happening for the Democrats in Texas. They always think they're going to win, but it's like Lucy in the football. It ain't happening, folks. Even if you look at the prediction markets, Tallarico is down by 8 points. Tallarico is an extremist. You know, as a Christian, Texas is one of the most Christian states in the entire country. And I'm just speaking not as a theologian, but when he said that God has 6 genders, that does not represent Texas values. That represents Vermont values. He is anathema to the values of Texas. Texas voters also care about securing the border. That's the top issue for voters in Texas. Tallarico is weak on that. So it's just strategically, I don't know why Democrats chose him. I honestly don't. He reminds me a lot of Beto O'Rourke, just kind of a mealy-mouthed, weak, just sort of Trojan horse. And so I just think he's going to lose.
Now, Carrie, I believe that Tallarico said that there are 6 genders, not that God has 6 genders. But, Hyma, I want to turn to you because Tallarico already posted a message encouraging Cornyn supporters to back him over Paxton. Yep. So how does he win over some of these Republican voters?
Look, I think doing exactly what he's doing. And look, if you think about Texas values and the reason why Ken Paxton's wife has now divorced him and the reason why he's been charged with so much corruption, he doesn't represent Texas values. And I think Tallarico is coming directly to voters and saying, if you were a fan of the great John Cornyn and you care about this state like Tallarico does, you come over to this coalition. And so Tallarico is going to run a race that is going to be about building a coalition, about expanding the coalition, about bringing voters along in this race. And he looked very senatorial last night. It was very great that he was able to very quickly extend an olive branch to Cornyn voters. I mean, look, this is going to be an expensive race. Regardless of what happens in November, Democrats are going to be excited about Texas Republicans spending so much money in this race, taking money out of Georgia, taking money out of Maine, taking money out of Ohio, which is another competitive state for Democrats right now because of Texas. And so this is not just about the Texas Senate race. This is about the entire map. And I think Republicans are going to have to make some really hard decisions about where to spend resources, and Texas is going to suck it all up.
Now, Carrie, I want to ask about what people are calling the YOLO caucus on Capitol Hill. Senator Cornyn may join this group of Republican lawmakers who are willing to break with the president. Do you think they'll have any impact on the president's agenda?
I hope not. I really hope that Senator Cornyn is the bigger person here. And I think that he will be, and I truly hope that he will be. And in fact, President Trump was quite I think, gracious to Senator Cornyn. So I think that, it's when people are bitter and they're angry, that's unfortunate, and it's a distraction from really focusing on what Americans care about, which is affordability, securing the border, lowering crime, and President Trump's ending the conflict in Iran, which was started by the Iranians after they assaulted Jews in the largest slaughter of Jews since the Holocaust. So they started it, and President Trump will end it. And thankfully, he's going to be ending it well in time before the midterms.
Hyma, what do you think? Does this YOLO caucus thing have any weight? Will it be good for Democrats?
Well, I don't think it's going to be. It's not about being good for Democrats or good for Republicans. This is about decent Americans who have served this country, like my former senator in Louisiana, Bill Cassidy, serving this country well and have been put out by the president because he's on a tour of retribution. And so, to Carrie's point, it does not behoove anyone to go into politics trying to get after or get even with someone, and that's what President Trump's been able to do. But look, Senator Tillis, Cassidy, and now Senator Cornyn, these individuals have an opportunity to set the record straight and make sure that they know, and people in this country know, that they're trying and they've wanted to fight for this country, irrespective to who's president and politics. And so this is going to be an opportunity for these gentlemen to stand up for what's right and to help set this agenda straight. And Carrie's correct, this is about affordability. And when you talk about what's happening in November, there are two things that people are going to care about. Why and what is Donald Trump doing? Is it for himself or is it for me? And will he end this war and make my life more affordable? And those are some questions that people have have not been able to answer yet, have super big they're thinking through, and they want to use that as a voting tool in November.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Carrie Sheffield, Hyma Moore, thank you both.
Good to see you, Michael.
Thank
Thanks.
you.